Since I have to wait for the vehicle inspection to get this insured and actually start living in it, I'm going to take this opportunity to work on some projects that I was going to delay till afterwards. One of those projects is the trim for the door and window on the back wall, so that's what I'm going to be tackling right now. So here is what the doorway looks like with the bed removed. The trim will only go down as far as the bottom of the bed here. There's no point to bringing it down below because there's not even any paneling down there and you won't see it anyway. I have these pieces of wood here, which were part of the bed that used to be in the old build, and they're quite nice pieces of wood, so I think I'll repurpose these for the trim. The trim is shared by both the door and the window, so I'm going to have to get a little bit creative here. This one here is for the door, this one here is for the window, and this one here is going to be shared, so it's slightly thicker because it needs to bridge that gap. So I'm going to make some modifications to that one so that it looks a little bit better, so that the bottom half matches that and gets thicker at the top so that it'll fit the window. And then this one doesn't need to be quite as long as the other two. I've nailed the 3 vertical pieces in place, here, here, and here. You can see how this portion here widens to fit the gap between the door and the window. Over here, this vertical piece covers the edge. It overlaps. It sort of bites that piece there. I think that looks really cool. And then it terminates in a 30-degree cut here. This will be matched on the other side, and a piece of wood will go in the middle here that's sort of like a keystone shape. I've cut these 2 boards and nailed them in place to complete the window and the door. And right here, I've just cut a test piece with, it's basically an equilateral triangle, all 30 degrees, that slots in there just so that when I put these boards together, they lined up perfectly. I've made a bottom portion here. This is nice and curved like some of the other things in the van. And the reason that I did it this way is so that it forms a lip and will keep things in the windowsill if I place them there. But it's not actually attached right now because I need to install this outlet before I do that. I've installed this single USB port here in the window, and the reason why I waited to put this in is basically because of this one little curve here. I thought it would look really weird if the outlet was sort of away from the wall, so basically this covers it up a little bit. And if I lift up King George here, you can see that this outlet is fully functional. I've used a wood burner to burn the logo for Sylvan Secrets onto this center piece of trim. I've cut this piece into its final shape and I'm gluing it in place, holding it down with a clamp. I chose the shape of this piece very deliberately. It reminds me of a map marker on a program that one would see on Google Maps, and combined with my logo, which I designed with an evergreen key merged with the image of a key, this piece here is just going to be a reminder of me to seek out the woods, seek out wild places, and to be aware of my surroundings and just try and learn as much from that as I can. Here's a look at what the back wall looks like with all the trim in place. Yesterday was pretty much a complete bust. I went to all of the insurance agencies in my town and I almost got it done, but in the end they did look, and I do need to get this inspection, so that's where the van is right now. It's being inspected. It's probably going to take a good few hours for them to get to it, and I'll know more later. Now, I'm fully expecting it to fail. I'm just trying to get a list of things to fix. So I got the results of the inspection, and there's some pretty major work that does need to be looked into, and then there's a lot of minor things. To make a long story short here, I'm not going to be able to get it insured as an RV anytime soon. I just don't have the money to put into all of these repairs, because to get it certified as an RV, you have to do every single last repair. And I just don't have the time or money to do that right now, and I really want to start using this. So I just insured it as a commercial vehicle for 3 months, and that'll bring me through until right now I have a surcharge, so in 3 months that'll go away, and I'll be able to reassess where I am mechanically then, and possibly get the motorhome insurance then. But for now, I have got the plates on the car, or on the van, I guess, and I'm ready to go. So I'm going to start moving stuff in it, and just going to put this whole insurance thing in the rearview mirror. Sorry that this process here has been broken up into all these sort of like progress update type videos, because I've just been so busy trying to get this done that I really haven't had much time to film. So I've actually made a lot of progress today since you saw me in the last clip. I decided to insure it as a commercial vehicle, obviously, and because it's got plates on it, I figured why not put all my stuff in it and spend tonight in the van. So that's what I'm gonna do. I got 90% of my stuff in here. I've still got some stuff at my father's place where I was staying, and I'll be busy getting rid of other stuff. There's a bunch of stuff there that I'm just going to try and get rid of because I don't need it in here. And I basically put all my stuff in the van, found a place for it where it wouldn't go flying around, and then I drove down to buy some groceries, and then I found a place to boondock. And I've just pulled off into this little alcove, I guess. It's a little pullout in a residential neighborhood, but I'm not actually next to any houses, which is great. So I just saw this site here yesterday, actually, when I was putting around on my little scooter. I thought that's a good place to spend my first night in the van. So I'm all moved in. I'm really excited. that was really, really successful. I slept really well. Normally when I go camping, I wake up a lot. And this isn't... It's kind of a mix, I guess, between camping and not. Normally when I sleep in a new bed, no matter where it is, I have trouble sleeping, but I guess I've spent enough time in this place that it feels comfortable. And yeah, I had a really good night's sleep, and I woke up. I work really late in the evening, so I woke up at like 1 o'clock, which is a little early for me, but that's still good, I guess. There are a couple things that went wrong. When I was trying to pour myself some water from the tap, no water was coming out of the tap, and what I should have done is immediately took my foot off the pedal. What basically happened is one of the hoses got disconnected from the hose that goes up to the faucet. Got disconnected, so I had to take everything out of there, the water, everything, crawl underneath the cabinet and fix that, and then mop up all the water with a towel that was underneath the cabinet there. And then the other thing that wasn't really something that went wrong, but it was something that I realized that I wanted to fix, is I was sitting in bed watching a movie, and the power inverter is right down here by where I'm sitting. So I can't actually reach it from bed. So if I'm watching a movie on my laptop and I've got that going off the inverter so that it doesn't run out of charge, and then I finish the movie, I want to go to bed, I can really easily put my laptop down onto this couch here, or onto the foot of the bed, or wherever I want to put it. But I have to actually get out of bed if I want to turn off the power inverter, which is, not something that I really want to do. And it came with a little remote control on a wire. So what I did was I crawled underneath there, and I've just got it fed. It's in the corner here, and right now it's not actually attached to anything. It's just sitting there, but basically it runs down and into the power inverter. So now I do have that option from my bed. I'll have to find a place to permanently install that later. This door here is completely broken. This actually happened before I moved in. It's on rollers and a track up here, and it can kind of come off those rollers, and normally it would only come off of this one. But when I was brought it downtown to get it unshirt, I was on a really weird angle, and I opened the door, and both rollers came off, and they slid down the track. And my theory is that they're down at the bottom of the wall somewhere, like in the framing. So right now, if I want to open this, I run the risk of scratching it on all the screws that are basically holding my pots in the wall and stuff. But I have to, it's kind of easier to open, so I can kind of do that. Getting it closed, like, you can do it, but it's just pulling a piece of plywood around. So I'm not sure how to fix that. I might have to rip up some of my actual work on these walls and stuff to get access to that, but it is something that needs to get done. So yeah, that and the sink both broke, and so I'm gonna have to make sure that they don't do that again. Okay, back to enjoying my smoothie breakfast here. I made this with a hand blender. I see a lot of builds where people want to have a blender, and so they up their solar power, they get bigger batteries. Jody with the Galavan, she jokes that she is the most expensive blender in the world, because that was her solution. And I mean, there's no doubt about it, an electric blender is much better than this thing. This is a GSI Vortex hand crank blender, but it's phenomenal. I am blown away by how good it does. It can crush ice. I didn't put any ice in this. I didn't really want to, but this was just for smoothies. That's like the only thing I ever use my blender for, and that and soups sometime. It's fantastic. It's so much easier, I think, than I thought it would be, for sure. So that's going to be my breakfast solution in the mornings. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. I certainly enjoyed my first night in my new home. I think I'm going to be very comfortable in here. I need to make a few adjustments, obviously, but that's just part of the process. So I'm going to try and work really hard to get you guys a build tour, a van tour, soon. Might not be the next video because I really want to do a good job on this, but it will be out soon. Don't worry. I'm still going to be pushing out content here. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video that comes out. Cheers.